Hello, it is Blazing Conqueror from Gamer's Fate, here with an all-new video, my top 10 overturns. As an interesting skill that can only be used once per turn, we have gotten very good ones and very bad ones as well. Oh my god. As skills that can be used once per turn, once per game, I've chosen 10 that I believe are the best ones and are kind of definitely worthy of being known to be used once per game. Let's get it started. Number 10 on my list is Bound Immortality Dragon, Burn Pound Dragon. His overturn skill is, you may use this during either player's turn. During your turn. Destroy all cards on the field and deal damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards destroyed. For my number 10 spot, I chose Burn because due to the fact that he can just destroy everything on the field and deal damage equal to the number, he does have a skill to bring himself back just by discarding one Flame Dragon from your hand. Number 9 goes to Overship Battleship Saki G. Overturn. Discard a card from your hand during the attack phase. For this turn, nullify all abilities of monsters on the field, and for this attack phase, you may call Crew Troopers or Thunder Empire cards from this card's soul without paying the pay cost. Although this skill sounds nice on paper, Saki has her own problems. One, her skill is an overturn, meaning after the skill is done, Saki just turns into a big beater afterwards. And the fact is that even if you nullify all the effects of the monsters currently on the field before you use her overturn, the monsters that come in also lose their abilities. So it's unfortunate that her previous form was a lot stronger than her overturn form, because at least with her old form, you can call as much as you like afterwards. Number 8 goes to Overturn Chief Dual Jaeger. Overturn. Discard one card from your hand during the main phase. Put the top 5 cards of your deck into its soul. It's honestly pretty decent. Due to the new support that Dual Jaeger gets in the new set coming out in February, Driven to Chaos, I think it is. He got 2 forms that can easily get him out and benefit from his own skill, which gives him +1 crit for each monster in his soul. And he has Penetrate, so even if you're fighting big beater monsters in the center, you can deal pretty devastating damage with this card's effect alone. Number 7 goes to Overturn Demon Lord Asmodai. Overturn. Pay 1 gauge during the attack phase. For the turn, give a monster 50,000 attack, 10,000 defense, 3 crit, penetrate, and counterattack. What I love about Asmodai is literally the fact that his overturn gives any monster of your choice the stats of one of the brokenest monsters in the game. And knowing from the guy way too much after having my own sibling use Magic World repeatedly and dealing with Asmodai, and dealing with the card that basically became the saving grace for almost all players after Kia Gaian's card came out. This card is definitely a good diversity card, and the reason why I put it above Dual Jaeger is due to the fact that his skill, anytime a Dragon has 72 or a Thunder Empire monster comes in the field, you choose any card on the field, discard 1 card, and destroy it. And after more releases came out for the Japanese boxes of the set Asmodai came in, it revealed that 72/Thunder Empire's got a monster that can constantly just keep spamming itself back into your hand. So taking Asmodai's skill lightly is something you should not do. My number 6 spot goes to Golden Crystal Dragon, Atara. Overturn. Discard 1 card from your hand when your opponent's card would attack for this turn. Your opponent's card loses minus 10,000 power and 3 critical. Although I do like the fact that Atara has 2 overturns, Bots has probably 6. This Atara is extremely interesting due to the fact that this isn't even the strongest one out of the 2. And forcing your opponent to lose that amount of power and critical automatically can be a game changer for you, as Prism Dragons are known to set up for their impacts way beforehand. And besides, this seems like a very good troll card, even if it is once per game. Number 5 goes to Overturn Death Dragon, Abigail. Overturn, pay 1 gauge during your main phase at the beginning of your opponent's next turn, end the turn. And during your next turn, your cards can attack. My only problem with Abigail is that he's a size 3 monster, but without that out of the way, it's actually very good for the deck. It prevents destruction and soul destruction, which you definitely need for your impact to automatically just win the game. And ending your opponent's turn is a big cost, but giving up your attacks is worth it, especially since Darkness Dragon World does have some pretty good damage dealing spells. So regardless, either you win the game with your impact or you have some damage dealing spells. It doesn't matter. Abigail is just there. Make sure your win is definitely secured. The number 4 spot goes to Thunder Empire Dragon, Balbats. Overturn. Pay 1 gauge and discard 1 card during your attack phase. Stand all cards in your field. Where do I begin with this? Being our first Overturn card, he definitely lives up to what he needed to be and what he is. Being bots and standing up all your cards definitely deals for a ton of attacks. And in Thunder Empires, thanks to their new impact, bringing your impact gauge down to 3 or 4 is definitely helpful with this card. Because, who am I kidding? Who likes to wait until your opponent's center is open? It's called you deal 20 damage regardless. And his stats are pretty great. Gaining the crit is also fantastic, and his double attack to start off is amazing because most of the Thunder Empire cards, items, and other monsters have double attack, so standing them back up with him just makes them feel like they all should have had triple attack to begin with, and this card should have never existed. Our bronze buddy cup is Heavenly Crystal Dragon, Adro Atara. Overturn, pay 1 gauge and discard 1 card from your hand when your opponent's card would attack. For this turn, this card cannot be destroyed. All cards on your opponent's field must keep attacking alone if able, and when they do, change the target of the attacks to this card, and deal 1 damage to your opponent. Where do I begin with this card? For 1, it can't be destroyed, so it helps set up for your new impact. 2, it just keeps changing it to him, which it keeps highlighting the fact that it can't be destroyed. And dealing 1 damage honestly was not necessary. If the their new impact revolves around dealing attack damage for an extra 2 damage for every attack made, then this card is an automatic help win condition. The one problem this would be probably the unpopular pick, and the reason why Atara is number 3 is because this Overturn can only activate if your opponent would attack, meaning your opponent can literally just sit there and not declare an attack. Apparently this is the ruling of the card, and it could get pretty boring, or if not, you would just probably keep attacking your opponent, and your opponent would probably just keep defending, depending if they have multiple cards in hand. But even so, Atara is still a very powerful card with a very overwhelming Overturn. For the silver medal, and my personal favorite, no bias, Shining Dragnet Jackknife, Overturn. Send 1 card from this card's soul into the drop zone. If your opponent would use a card other than it from its effects during their turn, nullify the use of your opponent's card. Okay. Unlike Atara, Jackknife deserves the 2nd spot for so many reasons. At first, this would have honestly been seen as one of the worst overturns due to the fact that it's an overturn that can nullify anything but effects. Now, due to the fact that Bushiroad had to make a specific ruling for Jackknife, and the fact that so many people changed their mind after realizing the fact that Jackknife can literally stop so many plays, Gear God can be stopped from coming in. Atara can be stopped from coming in. Bots can be stopped from coming in. Powerful spells can be stopped from from being used. Like World Premiere, the new Plague spell that closes a flag, or any other powerful spell or item or impact that can be literally stopped just by sending one card from this card's soul to the drop zone, definitely gives Jackknife the number 2 spot on this list. And another reason why is because it's a Neon Dragon card. Although compared to, just like I said with Jaeger, that he has two new versatile cards, Jackknife has a variety of Drago arms that can be put into the deck depending on how the person plays, and can be made pretty devastating even though his Overturn is once per turn. All he has right now is Soul Guard and the ability if he deals damage to your opponent, you destroy a monster. It honestly doesn't matter because there's so many new Drago arms that give him Penetrate, Move, Double Attack that can take advantage of that skill, while also keeping in fact that his Overturn can automatically help you achieve your victory. And with new Punisher coming out that can kill your opponent at half their life, I love the fact that this Jackknife went from probably the worst one, or second worst, to number 2 on my list. Finally, for our gold medalist, Overturn Ice Emperor Masseria. There's no arguing why Masseria is number 1. Jackknife may be able to stop plays and prevent them. Masseria does both without even trying. Overturn. Pay 2 gauge during your main phase. Nullify the effects of all cards on the field, and return all other cards from each player's hand gauge, drop zone, and field to their owner's deck. Shuffle the deck. Then each player draws 6 cards and put the top 2 cards of their deck into the gauge. So from what I've seen, I don't think Masseria's abilities are nullified because it would counter its own nullifying of its Overturn. And literally the fact that you're shuffling everything back into the deck prevents so many skills. The skills that, say, can't be destroyed, can't be returned to hand, and you're negating effects like Soul Guard, or skills that will prevent it from leaving the field in general. One of the major things that this can definitely stop is people who want to have multiple cards on the field, like the new Legend World playstyle where you can play with all weapons, or Prism Dragons who want to have big giant Prism Dragons in the center with multiple new cards because Bushiroad wants to give Prism Dragons all the support for no reason. And the fact that you're also shuffling back your opponent's hand. The downside is you're giving them 6 new cards, but putting back all their gauge and giving them 2 new gauge is okay because they could have a ridiculous amount of gauge that they could have needed. But the downside I definitely see is the 6 hand size, even though both players restart with 6 cards in hand. The fact that they could probably draw something better than they already had is a possibility. But giving them something worse is also a very big handicap for you. This is making it why Masseria takes the number 1 spot on my list. Well, those are my top 10 overturns in Buddyfight. I would like to hear your favorite overturn in the game. And as a concept, I believe Overturn has had very good outcome so far. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you around, Zoo.